Welcome back, everybody. And to celebrate the Halloween season this year, I thought I'd go through Ravenloft. This is the original first edition version, but we're not going to be playing first edition at all. This is going to be kind of a challenge run where we have characters who can't level up, and once they're dead, and when they're all dead, the game's over. We're going to be playing the Blackest of Deaths, which is a very interesting RPG by Eric Bloat, where you heard me right, the characters cannot level up. They have a set of abilities, they can get magic items, and some of them can learn new magic spells, but their stats normally do not increase. So we have 4 characters here that are going to be stepping into the mists of the domains of dread, and we're going to go through the story as far as we can get of Ravenloft. So our 4 characters are Raya, the elf monster slayer. Then we've got Stern, he's the dwarf barbarian. We have Yark, the goblin street rat. And then a familiar face, Lorkay the necromancer. And we're going to see how far they get. So before we do anything in the game, we have to do the gypsy card reading beforehand. So what this is going to do is this is going to determine things we need to find, or what Strahd is trying to do, or what kind of bonuses we get during the story. So I think we just draw 3 cards, unless there's more. Yeah, it looks like we draw 3 cards, and this is going to determine what the fortunes of the party are. So I got these nice playing cards here. So here's our first one. That's a 10. So we need the 10 here. So that's the High Tower Room, K60 on the map. It says, this is a place of dizzying heights that all loathe to travel. The road winds ever upward, and the rocks themselves live here. It says the object is locked in an iron chest. If Strahd is there, he's at the window looking over his lands. So there's an object we need to find that's there. Next, so these are some modifiers. So this is a hearts card. That's what it looks like it cares about. So we get a +1 bonus to hit and a -1 bonus to our AC. Interesting. So there's no AC here. So what I'm going to say is this is a -1 to our it's a -1 to our evasion. And then our last card here, these are Strahd's goals. These are kind of complicated. King or ace, that's about as high as we can get here. And what's this say? See treasures and tomes on page 31 for details about the Sun Sword. Strahd wants to destroy the Sun Sword. He believes that one of the PCs, a random fighter, or in this case our barbarian, has been unknowingly carrying the Sun Sword for some time. If the Sun Sword hilt is found and reunited with the blade, Strahd could be in real trouble. Okay, so I suppose that means that that's the object from earlier. So that's up in the tower. Cool. With that, we can begin our game. I'm kind of intimidated because the map to this is, I think it's isometric, and that's kind of hard for me to read. After passing through the craggy peaks of the Balanox, the road takes a sudden turn to the east. And while the startling, awesome presence of Ravenloft itself towers before you, the carriage comes to a stop just in front of twin guardhouses of turreted stone, broken from years of use and exposure. Beyond these, a 50-foot wide precipice gapes between the Balanock cliffs and the walls of Ravenloft. A chasm of dizzying depth that disappears into the fog-shrouded distance far below. The lower drawbridge is of old, shorn-up wood beams, hangs precariously between you and the arched entrance to the courtyard. The chains of the drawbridge creak in the wind, their rust-eaten iron straining with the weight. From atop the high strong walls, stone gargoyles seem to stare at you from their hollow sockets and grin hideously. A rotting wooden portcullis, green with growth, hangs in the entry tunnel. Beyond this, the main doors of Ravenloft stand open. A rich, warm light spills from them into the courtyard, and torches flutter sadly in the sconces of both sides of the open doors. That's right. We're actually going to start off at the castle. I just want to see how far they can get through into the dungeon. So we're going to be starting off in at this K area. We're at the courtyard. We haven't quite got in yet. That's K1 there. Each one of those squares represents 10 feet, so I'm going to double that. So each square, each 4 square is basically one of these spaces here. So going back a little bit further into the book, I have to pay attention to this encounter chart back here, because as we go, we're going to be rolling d6s per area, I believe. I just want to make sure it's an area and not like an extent of time. Here it is. So, and as we enter the castle area, the weather worsens. Dismal rain starts to fall, turning into a torrent within an hour. Okay, so roll 1d6. If the result is a 1 or a 2, the PCs encounter something, roll a d12 and use the encounter table below with the resulting number. Now, all the monsters in Blackest of Deaths are not the same as you'd find in first edition, so we're going to equate them best we can. So I guess we'll roll immediately. So we get off of this carriage and into this courtyard. Back this way, the castle Ravenloft is towering before us, and the rain begins to fall as there's no encounter. So instead of going around anywhere, we're kind of intrigued by this light that's coming from the castle, and we're going to go ahead and enter K7, and that is the entry hall. The ornate, massive doors hang open. Fluttering torches cast dim yellow flickers of light from the entryway. 20 feet into the castle, a second set of doors suddenly swings open effortlessly, and the sounds of organ music flow out. Overhead in the entryway, 4 statues of dragons glare down, their eyes flickering in the torchlight. So we're hearing some organ music. The module doesn't say that nothing can happen in here, so I guess we'll roll here and then continue through these open doors. That kind of seems like a bad idea. It doesn't happen anyway. So I didn't want to it'd be kind of weird for Strahd to be playing an organ in the other room, meanwhile we're beating up people over here. So we're going to head through these doors here and into this next area. Actually, I kind of like the 4 square idea there. Kind of makes it look way more bigger. Anyway, yeah. Square measuring has always been difficult for me when it comes to 10 foot per square. And K8 is absolutely massive from my little mat here. I might actually need to erase and redraw this several times. But this is some kind of main hall here. So let's go ahead and read the entry for K8, and then we'll roll to see if anything happens in here. I don't know why I shut the book and then turned the camera on. That's just how I roll, I guess. Okay, yeah, this is the great entry. Cobwebs hang from the dust-covered columns of this great hall, illuminated by torches fluttering in iron sconces. The dust and webs cast strange moving shadows across the faces of stone gargoyles, squatting motionlessly on the rim of the domed ceiling cracked and faded ceiling frescoes are covered by centuries of decay. Two doors of bronze stand closed to the east. To the north, a wide staircase climbs into darkness. All the while, sad and majestic organ tones float about you from the lit hallway to the south. Okay, yeah. Actually, the way this is set up, it makes it seem like things don't happen until we leave the dining room with Strahd. So I think that's what's going to happen. So we're probably just going to follow this organ music. There's sort of some doors here. That's the south that he's talking about, and I can't fit that onto this map, so I'm going to have to redraw some stuff. This is a magnificent 40-foot square room, brilliantly lit by 3 massive crystal chandeliers. Pillars of stone stand against the dull white marble walls, supporting the ceiling. In the center of the room, a long, heavy table stands covered with a fine white satin cloth. The table is laden with delectable foods of every type: roasted beast basted in savory sauce, roots and herbs of every taste, the sweet fruits and vegetables. Places are set for each of you with fine, delicate china and silver. At each place there is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid whose delicate fragrance tantalizes your senses. At the center of the far west wall, between floor-to-ceiling length mirrors, stands a massive organ. Its pipes blare out a thunderous melody that offers in its tone greatness and despair. Seated before the keys, its back to you, is a single caped figure who pounds the keys in rapturous ecstasy. The figure suddenly stops, and a deep silence falls over the dining hall. The figure slowly turns toward you. So, it says in the book this guy is an illusion, but he will speak with us. Raya, our elf, actually isn't fooled by this at all. She has something called where is that here? I think that's elvish senses or something. Or who is it that you can see that? Is it a dwarf? Keen senses, ready for battle. Keen instincts. In any case, I think it's Raya, actually, who doesn't believe this illusion at all. And she tells the rest of the party so. We know we're here hunting a vampire. So I think she's gonna test it by picking something up from the table and flinging it at him. You know, just for fun. I'll roll to see if she actually hits the illusion. Things go downhill pretty quick from here. That's a hit on the illusion. So she picks up, like, I don't know, a turkey leg or something from the table and throws it right through him. Just to kind of show us what's up. But the second she does, what does it say here? The moment the figure disappears, a fierce bone-chilling wind rises up and roars through the hall, putting out all non-magical lights. The PCs hear the screech of ancient hinges and the solid thud of many doors slamming shut one after the other into the distance. They also hear the portcullis clang shut and the tired groan of the aged drawbridge pulling up. And then it says, the vast room is dark. A wind whistles through its confines. Crystal sings in the darkness as the great chandeliers rustle in the wind, and the fragrance of food wafts its way through the darkened hall. So, essentially what happens is this illusion of Strahd disappears. Everything goes dark, which basically means the only person who can see right now is Stern the dwarf, because he's the only one with dark vision here. So he's going to tell us it's all right. He's gone now. But unfortunately, Stern is wrong. It's not all right because this is when the dungeon crawl begins in earnest. So the second we leave those doors back there, it's going to get pretty real.